What is going on, guys and girls, and welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well, and this is the first time I've used my Elgato in a long time, and there's been actually a lot of new features on this system which I didn't even know about, was not aware of them at all, and one of them is the face cam we've got going on here. Obviously I've got a built-in camera, and it's actually compatible with the Elgato, which is really cool, so I decided to throw that in there for today's video. And today's video will be Steins Gate Zero. Now you may remember, you may not, I actually recorded a bit of this, of the original, the first one, last year, and it's a really cool game. It's a visual novel. I mean, I don't plan on going through the whole thing because it's a lengthy story, seriously. I mean, the last one took me around 30/40 hours. There's multiple endings, and it's a great game. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, I just really want to check this out. So this actually came out on the 25th of November this month, and I haven't had the chance to play it yet. It's now Monday, so it's been out for 3 days, not too long, and I do apologize. I know it's quite dark on my camera there. It's nighttime and I've got very bad lighting in my room, so I do apologize for that. But you're not here to watch me, guys. You're here to watch the game, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be awesome. Now, I know nothing about the story here. Did not want to go in with any spoilers. This actually got delayed here in the UK. It was supposed to come out earlier in October, I believe. Got delayed, and here it is. Okay, should we be reading this, or it's kind of like the opening trailer here? Okay, some sort of opening. All right, cool. Sorry, guys. Alright, cool. So yeah, hopefully you guys have read the original. I keep saying the original, the first one. This is the sequel here. It's about time travel, a bunch of kids causing havoc, causing time travel, and things go wrong. I don't really want to go too much in depth in case you have not seen it for yourself, but if you know, you know, and this continues on from the story. And before you do get started, let's just check out the configuration here. Skip release it triggered. Alright. We'll keep the tips on. So I'm actually playing this on the PlayStation TV. Text message speed, relatively quick. Skip mode, no thank you. Sound, voices, we'll boost those. Music, we'll boost that a little. Yeah, we'll leave it as that for now. And yeah, it all seems good. So you guys ready? I'm really excited for this, honestly. I'm really excited for this. Now, this is kind of like Final Fantasy comes out tomorrow. I'm going to upload this today. Final Fantasy comes out tomorrow here in the UK. I'm actually going to put that on hold. As much as I really want it, I'm so excited for it, I'm actually going to have to put that on hold because I've got this, and I've got Pokemon Moon. I've got Dishonored 2, which I'm still trying to beat. I think I'm pretty close to beating it. And Final Fantasy, adding that on top of that workload would be very difficult to maintain all 4 games, and I just don't want to give myself that kind of stress. So Christmas is coming. I may actually decide to invest in that then. I mean, definitely no later than Christmas, because I've got a PS4 Pro, but I'm still yet to get a 4K TV, and I want to get a 4K TV to experience Final Fantasy in 4K. And then again, a few other games such as Tomb Raider, The Last Guardian. So I'm playing a lot of these new games here, but without 4K, so I'm not really experiencing them in I don't know if it's going to be the greatest way to play them, because a lot of people do complain about the frame rates and stuff like that, but I really do want to experience the game in 4K myself. But anyway, enough of that. Let's begin. Alright, I've been rambling on for too much. Let's begin this game. Alright. Okay, cool. It may give us some sort of introduction to all the characters here. This is actually a flashback, I believe. No? serious, it's a weird game. It can be a little confusing at times, especially if you didn't play the first. But the hatch opened. Bright light flooded my eyes. Where was I? My eyes narrowed. I could barely make it out of the summer's twilight sky. I didn't want to leave. I just wanted to disappear. But someone grabbed my arm and dragged me out. You know what's cool? It's actually using the same music here from the first, which is cool. But this is Daru on your right. I believe it's Miyori on the left here. I played this game last year, but I'm still actually forgetting the names. There's not too many characters to know about, but the characters we do know are awesome. But yeah, Daru, I believe it was his nickname here. But anyway, let's keep going.
Ocarina?
So Ocarina, he's actually the main character who you cannot see on screen just yet. But I didn't have the energy to respond to my own nickname. I fell to the ground and wrapped my arms around myself.
Ocarina!
Miyori ran to me and looked down, her face worried. But her kindness felt like nothing but a nuisance. Don't talk to me. Just leave me alone. Covered in blood? Oh man, I ain't gonna get used to this because we never found out that was her dad until very late in the game, in the first one. Damn, I almost forgot about that. Daru ran to the door that led back inside the building.
Ocarina, 大丈夫? しっかりして。死なないで。大丈夫。怪我してるわけじゃないよ。
Stop it. Just get away from me. Leave me alone. I couldn't save her. In fact, I killed her myself. Right here, 3 weeks ago. I killed her. I'm a murderer.
無駄だったんだ。何をやっても無駄だ。全部決まってしまっていることなんだよ。
Oh, so I think it's going about fate's been decided. No matter what we do, this person's always gonna die.
同じだ。真由里の時と同じなんだ。
Yeah, this definitely rings a bell.
どれだけもがいたって結果は同じになる。
No matter how many times I try, it will all converge back to the same result. The process doesn't matter. Whether you time travel or time leap, you can't go back and change the results of the past. I thought I understood that cruel truth, but now I was forced to realize it again, and in the worst possible way.
無駄だよ。無駄なんだ。何もかも無駄なんだよ。俺はやっぱりクリスを助けられないんだ。分かってた。分かってたんだ。こうなるって予想してたんだ。もう疲れた。ずっと休んでないんだ。だからもういいよ。
オカリン、一体何が。
俺が 俺が殺してしまった。バカみたいだ。全部俺のせいだ。
牧瀬クリスをさ、刺し殺しちゃったんだ。殺した？嘘、そんな。でも安心して、まだもう一回分タイムトラベルはできる。
ほっといてくれ。俺のことなんか何度やったって結果は同じだ。
何言ってんの？諦めるつもり？オカリンおじさんの肩には何十億っていう人の命がかかってるんだよ。たった一回の失敗が何だって言うんだ。
クリスはどうやったって助けられない。世界線の収束には逆らえない。
That's the reality of this world. I learned that a long time ago.
こうなったらビンタしてでも気合い入れ直して。ダメだよ、無理強いするのは良くないよ。こんなボロボロになってるオカリン見てられないもん。でもさ、このままじゃ未来を変えられない。どうして未来のことをオカリン一人に押し付けるの？そんなの重すぎるよ。オカリンおじさんには世界の観測者としての能力があるからだよ。オカリンが望んだわけじゃないのに。それにもう一度やったってまたオカリンが傷つくだけだって思うな。未来のことを人一人で変えようなんてきっと無理なんだよ。だからそのためのシュタインズゲートで、気持ちはわかるよ。でもさ、私も未来をかけてここまで来てるんだよね。どっちにしろ2036年には戻れないんだ。そう簡単に諦めるつもりはないから。オカリンおじさん、一つだけ忠告しとく。このタイムマシンに残されてる燃料は有限なの。さっきは往復2回分しか残ってないって言ったけど、実はまだそれなりに余裕はある。それでも移動できる時間はおよそ344日分。片道のタイムトラベルだとしても今から1年と経たないうちに7月28日には届かなくなる。覚えといて。その日になったらさ、私はたとえ一人でも飛ぶよ。
Someone was saying something to me, but I couldn't understand the words. I didn't want to listen to anything. I just wanted to sleep. Just let this all end. Just let me go.
オカリン、オカリン、ねえ、オカリン、もう頑張らなくてもいいからね。泣いてもいいんだよ、オカリン。マユシーはそばにいるからね、オカリン。
I don't know if Muri's words were the reason why, but the tears started to flow. I decided to forget everything. Ever since that day, I stopped going to the Future Gadget Lab, which is pretty much their secret hideout to create these crazy inventions. But man, oh, a trophy early on. Open the new gate. Sweet. The new symbol of Akihabara was located right in front of the station. In the hall on the 4th floor, preparations had been going on all morning for the ATF Akihabara Techno Forum Convention. Universities and labs from both inside and outside the country would work together to put on a special seminars and symposiums at irregular intervals. Alright, we get a lot of tips up top, I'm not really sure what those are. But anyway, my school, Tokyo Denki University, was participating as part of its industry collaboration efforts. Students were required to attend these seminars and submit reports to their instructors. Otherwise, they wouldn't get credit for their related classes. In addition, I was supposed to help one of the lecturers, Associate Professor Azaki. I just got on a list from the reception desk at the shared lobby. I was waiting to check off the names of students who were coming to the lectures. There was still some time before the seminar started, so the lobby was mostly empty. None of the students on the list were here yet. I was bored, but I couldn't do anything but wait. The old me never could have imagined doing anything like this, but impressing Azaki was part of my new goal in life. Victor Chondria University. Yes, that was my new goal. Azaki did a lot of joint research projects with them and knew a lot of people there. The best first step to getting there my brain could come up with was being his assistant. Also, this convention was holding another seminar by Victor Chondria University after the one held this summer. Of course that interested me too. Summer? An image of her as she was then flashed through my mind. I was trying to get Victor Chondria so that I could learn about the work that Kurisu Makise had been doing, which is the girl who actually just died, I believe. I wanted to try to do it myself. Of course I wasn't a genius like Kurisu. It wasn't Kurisu or Kurisu, I can't actually remember what it was now. We'll go with Kurisu for now. But I knew there was no way I'd ever be able to do exactly what she did. But if I could even do 10% of it, honestly, I'm amazed that I've recovered so well. I thought that to myself and chuckled, just as a voice called to me from across the lobby.
Huh?
I looked up and saw a young girl approaching from the elevator hall. She was short and petite, everything about her was small. I could kind of make out a few of the curves that don't appear until after puberty, so at least she wasn't in elementary school, but maybe middle school? For someone with such a cute face, she clearly didn't care about her appearance. Her hair wasn't styled and it poured down her back. Even I could tell her clothes weren't very fashionable.
ごめんなさい。スタッフルームってどこかしら？
ここは ATF のセミナー会場だけど。
Clearly not a place where a middle school girl belonged. She'd probably just come to the wrong place.
そんなの分かっているわ。何度同じ話を繰り返せば気が済むの？
いや、今初めて行ったんだけど。
私にとってはあなたで4回目よ。この場所に来てからね。
Irritated, she pulled a card out of her jacket. It was one of the IDs given out to invited guests. Her name and the name of her workplace were written on the front.
Huh?
Victor Chondria, I might pronounce this correctly. Victor Chondria University, USA Brain Science Institute. Alright, so this is a guest pass. You can see his name on the guest pass, and also her name, I believe, which is Maho.
Victor Chondria 大学脳科学研究所
I looked at the card, and then at her, then back at the card, then I looked at her again. I finally realized.
あ、そういうことか。そのカードどこに落ちてたんだ？拾ってくれたん？
その話も4回目よ。
She sighed and showed me another card. This one was a photo ID from Victor Chandriya University.
Eh?
It was the same ID I'd seen Kurisu holding before on another world line. The photo on the card, yeah, that was definitely her.
ヒヤジョウマホって読むの。私の名前、ヒヤジョウマホ。
Maho.
漢字でもローマ字でも誰も読めた試しがないから先に言っとくわ。
ビクトル・コンドリア大学の中学生？
寝ぼけるなら夜にして。大学に中学生がいるわけないでしょ。
それもそうだな。じゃあ飛び級か。
Unlike in Japan, it wasn't uncommon for Americans to skip grades. Kurisu had made it to university at age 17. But still, a girl this young working in a university lab?
一つ確認していいかしら。あなた今少なからず衝撃を受けてるわよね。こんな小さい子が信じられないかしら。それともこの年齢ですごいの方。
She got me.
ここをよく見なさい。
I'm looking. The girl Maho. Hyojo? Yeah, she did say people can't really pronounce it in English or Japanese, and we're kind of struggling ourselves here. But she pointed to part of the ID with her slender fingers. She was born in 1989, and it was 2010, so yeah, she's not as young as we actually thought she was. You're 21 years old. In other words, I'm an adult woman.
中学生じゃないのよ。もちろん小学生でも幼稚園児でも。
And then she puffed out her chest. There wasn't much to see, but I can imagine her saying, "They look bigger when I'm not wearing clothes." They're huge!
何かしらその顔は。
いや、悪かった。謝る。
I couldn't believe it. She was older than me. If Daru was here, he'd be dancing around screaming, "Legal lolly for the win!" Usually when this blue text comes up, it usually means something. I mean, you can bust out the phone here. I don't really think there's any point contacting anyone. No emails. Like, this actually does change paths of the story when you like answer phone calls and stuff like that. But if we call Daru, okay, that's actually not even possible right now. It'll probably introduce us to the mobile phone at some point in the game, and then we can start using it freely. But let's continue.
まあいいわ。世界中どこへ行っても同じ目に遭ってるから。
そうだろうな。
何か言った？
いや、別に。
Still, the Brain Science Institute. That's where Kurisu worked. Which means this kid, no, this person, might know a lot about, I keep saying Kurisu. I held back the impulse to start badgering her with questions. I looked at the pamphlet with the seminar schedules. Victor Chandriya's lecture was the last one for the day, and was clearly intended to be the biggest. Was this Maho girl going to give a lecture? Just like Kurisu had done at the summer convention? No, wait, that's wrong, that never happened. Kurisu never gave any lectures over the summer. That happened in the Alpha World Line. In the world line I inhabited now, before the summer convention, she'd already...
君が今日は登壇を？
いいえ、私は助手として来たの。あと通訳も兼ねてね。
I looked at the pamphlet again and saw that the lecturer was a man named Alexis Leskin. A professor at Victor Chandriya's University and the chief researcher of the Brain Science Institute.
テーマは人工知能革命か。 面白そうだ。
Alright, the Artifactual Intelligence Revolution.
時間があったらぜひ聞いてみてほしいわね。
そうするよ。
Yeah, we'll take a look.
スタッフルームなんてな。
I led Maho over to the elevator hall and showed her where the staff room was.
ありがとう。
Arigato. I had no reason to hang around her any further. I said goodbye and I was just about to turn around. Just then, the elevator opened, a woman emerged. The instant I saw her face, every hair on my body stood on end. Oh my god. You guys know who this is, right? Shining Finger, otherwise known as Mocha. Wow. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. My hairs are actually standing up now. Oh my god. Calm down. I'm trying to be calm, man. This is the Beta World line. Miyori is alive. Cool. Mocha's not going to kill her. Our eyes met. The eyes on the other side of her glasses were as dead as ever, and it was impossible to tell what she was thinking. I frantically averted my gaze before she realized something was wrong. She tilted her head for a second, but quickly lost interest in me and turned towards Maho. Maho.
ああ、雑誌社の方でしたよね。お約束通り取材を。
Even in this world line, Mocha still only spoke in faint whispers.
レスキネン教授はまだなんです。少しお待たせしてしまいますけど。はい。それまで私でよければシステムの概要でもお願いします。
The two of them disappeared into the staff room. As I watched them leave, I took a deep breath. I tried to calm down, but it wasn't working.
桐生萌か。もしかしてまたお前なのか。
It was a terrible feeling, like a cold finger tracing the wounds in my heart. That night, when the terrorist threat shut down all the trains in Akihabara, that awful night when I just knew something was going to happen.
ここでもまたお前が。
So he's actually referring to what happened in the first game. This is when everything got shut down and she actually made her place to the lab. She made her way to the lab and she actually killed Miyori. So this is kind of why he's acting like this. Or was I just imagining things? Was he just a magazine reporter now, instead of a CERN rounder? So CERN's actually like a kind of group. But no, even if Mocha was a rounder, we had nothing to do with CERN anymore. CERN wouldn't be watching us. I took another deep breath, grabbed some of the anxiety meds in my pocket and swallowed them down with some mineral water I'd bought ahead of time. It would take 15 minutes for them to kick in, but those 15 minutes were always pretty rough. I laughed at myself a little and sat down on one of the reception desk chairs. The table was filled with leaflets, pamphlets and other things for the attendees. My eyes wandered to one of the pamphlets. What was that buzzing sound? Ah yes, the phone. Alright, this is Miyori. Alright. Oh, Ocarina, are things going okay with Mr. Seminar? You'll reply, no problem. Ah yes, our first trophy for replying, or second trophy, but yeah, cool. I see, that's great. I can't wait to see what kind of seminar it will be. Damn, we're having a full-out conversation here, damn. Alright, Mishi wishes she could have seen it too. It may be a little too hard for you to follow. That's an awesome emoji right there of Miyori. That's actually her, which is pretty cool. You're right. Okay, I don't want to get in your way. Bye. Awesome. Now we can actually have like full-out conversations on the phone, which is awesome. Alright, my eyes wandered to one of the pamphlets. Nakabachi Theory and the genealogy of Pseudoscience. This pamphlet was for Professor Azaki's seminar, Nakabachi Theory. So a lot of this is actually confusing for me. Some of these words, like, I never studied this stuff, so please, I apologize. The paper he'd announced in Russia. That paper held the key to creating a real time machine. Alright, so we're back on time machines here. On that day, July the 28th, Nakabachi had stolen the paper from Kirisu, his own daughter, and left with it. I knew that. Only Nakabachi and I knew that. I flipped through the pamphlet. It was a brief introduction to the many forms of pseudoscience and fake scientific discoveries that had emerged since the start of the 20th century. On its own, it didn't make for interesting reading. And at the end of the pamphlet, Nakabachi Theory was introduced as nothing more than another entry in that long list of fakes. So Dr. Nakabachi's time machine theory had been completely ignored by the academic world. All the glory, fame and power he wanted so badly that he was willing to get rid of his own daughter, he didn't get any of it. And I'd heard rumours that after the announcement, he'd been imprisoned in a Russian lab. To make it even funnier, he thought he was getting VIP treatment. For a short time there were essays and interviews in bogus academic journals. Even there it was obvious it had all gone to his head. The ironic thing was that Nakabachi Theory was completely correct and completely revolutionary. The Russian government was worried about it leaking, and the SVR was doing everything it could to keep it under wraps. But under the surface there was a full-scale information war beginning over the paper. The time traveller from 2036, John Titor, had told me so, which meant it had to be true. Was World War III really going to happen? There was no point in thinking about it. Just a little more before the drugs kicked in. I closed my eyes. Several hours later, the convention was going well. After Professor Azaki's seminar, most of the students from my university went home, but I killed some time and came back. I wanted to hear the Victor Chondria lecture. I headed to the hall with plenty of time to spare and saw Maho coming from the staff room. She was with a very tall foreigner. Was that Alexis Leskinen? It didn't seem like an American name, but maybe he was an immigrant like Kirisu, or at least descended from one. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but the looks on their faces were so serious that I couldn't help but listen. Since they were both speaking in English, I could barely make out any of it, but I could tell from their voices that it wasn't a pleasant chat. Wait, did I just hear the word Makise? I hated the fact that I couldn't speak English. If I'd known this was going to happen, I would have gone to an English school. The two of them walked into the waiting room for lecturers. It was located right next to the UPX theatre. I put together the few fragments I was able to understand. Fire at Kirisu's house. Mrs. Makise is alright. Robbery, the police called off the investigation. Why was the FBI there? It doesn't make sense. I think that's what they were saying. Kirisu's house, did he mean where she lived in America? Her mother should still live in America. Is that where the fire was? And then words like robbery and the investigation was called off. I really wanted to know more. I stood there and worried until it was time for the lecture to begin. With nothing else to do, I went inside the theatre. I could tell earlier by looking at the size of the crowds going inside, but it was a very high energy crowd. The atmosphere was clearly different than Azaki's seminar, which was mostly students there for credit. The place was nearly full with a crowd of scientists and people who wanted to learn about cutting-edge technology. Victor Chondria's researchers had published a slate of papers in science recently and had gotten a lot of media attention. Maybe that was why. Were there any open seats? I found a single open seat at the edge, but when I looked at who was sitting next to it, I moaned. You again? Mocha was there. She was speaking to no one, just typing endlessly into her phone. Not surprising. I once named her Shining Finger because of her incredible typing speed, and she was as fast as ever. Who was she talking to? I didn't even want to imagine. Do you think she recognizes us? Because we recognize her. I quickly turned away and looked for another seat. Alright, Dr. Leskinen reached the podium almost the exact instant I sat down. There was a huge wave of applause. But when they saw the tiny little girl come up next to him, the applause faded into confused murmurs. Maho must have expected this. Her expression didn't change in the slightest as she stood next to the professor. In fact, when she took the microphone from the professor and looked around the theatre, she looked like she belonged there.
Ladies and gentlemen.
First, Dr. Leskinen began to speak in English. When he made eye contact with Maho, she began to interpret.
Thank you for attending.
皆さん、本日は私のセミナーに集まってくださって感謝します。ビクトル・コンドリア大学脳科学研究所のアレクシス・レスキネンです。専門は脳信号処理システムおよび人工知能理論になります。そして私は助手のヒアジョウマホです。同じく脳科学研究所で教授の指導に沿って研究をしています。よろしく。
The audience started murmuring again. That was the same way I responded when I met her. Well, that'll happen, yeah.
では早速ですが、私たちの最先端研究の一端をご紹介します。テーマは人工知能革命としましたが、これからデモンストレーションするシステムはおそらく皆さんの想像を超えたものではないかと思っています。
Dr. Leskinen stood in front of the laptop that he had been placed on the podium and started to type.
このパソコンですが、研究所のスーパーコンピューターの一つと接続されています。あ、まだプロジェクターには映さないで。
One of the staffers was about to display the laptop screen on the front projector. Some kind of important program must have been booting up because Maho stopped them.
Sorry.
すみません、まだ開発途中なんです。非常に美的センスのないプログラムが画面いっぱいにあふれ返っています。こんなチープなプログラムを見られるのは恥ずかしい。裸を見られるよりもね。この中にエンジニアの方がいるなら理解していただけますよね。
Kind of weird how she had to translate that
起動
joke.
するまでの間、このシステム全体の概略を説明しましょう。
There was another projector in the center of the stage. A diagram appeared on its screen. And at the top of the diagram was a Japanese translation for the general audience. An analysis of neural pulse signals relating to memories stored in the temporal lobe. I knew that title well. In fact, I was sure I could never forget it. It was the title of an essay written by a 70-year-old genius and published in Science. She had completely analysed the nerve impulse patterns that govern human memory and used that to digitize the memories themselves into data. And she had used that to invent the time leap machine right in front of my eyes. Though, none of that had actually happened anymore.
Right, this is getting pretty weird now. ご存知の方もいるでしょう。これは私たちのチームにいた天才的な日本人研究者によって提唱され完成されたものです。人間の記憶は大脳皮質、とりわけ側頭葉に記録されます。いわゆるフラッシュメモリみたいなもの。そのメモリに記憶を書き込んだり読み出したりするのが側頭葉にある海馬傍回という部位になります。
Dr. Leskinen pointed to the diagrams of the brain and hippocampus on the screen.
脳はニューロンと呼ばれる細胞の間を電気信号が伝わっていくことで働いています。記憶というのも実はこういった電気信号の伝わりの一つなのです。その働きを制御しているのが海馬傍回と言ってもいいでしょう。つまり電気信号が海馬傍回を出入りすることで記憶は作られていくんですね。そこでマキセ・クリスはこの論文を書いた日本人研究者です。マキセ研究員は考えました。海馬傍回を通る電気信号が電気信号のパターンと大脳皮質の
Maho started to have trouble with her interpreting. She was getting confused. No matter how good you were with languages, interpreting for a long period of time had to be difficult. I'd once read in an article on the internet that said even a professional can't do it for more than 20 minutes. International conferences and live broadcasts from overseas were actually handled by a team of people switching off. Or maybe, was she having trouble because Kirisu's name came up? Dr. Leslin saw she was having trouble and cut himself off.
すみません。マキセ研究員は海馬傍回を出入りする電気信号のパターンに着目しました。そのパターンが大脳皮質のどの記憶と対応しているのか解析を行って完全なデータを得たのです。これによって記憶という曖昧でアナログなものを電気信号のパターンの組み合わせというデジタルなものに変換する基礎理論が確立されたのです。これがサイエンス誌に掲載された彼女の論文です。そして現在私たちのチームはその理論をもとに人間の記憶をデジタルデータとして取得するシステムを開発しています。
A wave of whispers swept across the theater.
それはすなわち人間の記憶をコンピューターに保存しそれを活用するシステムということになります。
I see. So even after her death, Kirisu's research was being carried on. Of course, maybe it was natural that it would be. That was the basic theory for time leaping, which I had proved myself, even if I could never prove it to anyone else in the Alpha World line. My memories had been turned into data and stored on a computer, there was no doubt about that. And what Dr. Leskinen was talking about right now was the basic technology required for that process.
現在、私たちが行っているプロジェクトは主に2つです。1つは医療分野への応用です。
The slide on projector changed.
こちらは精神生理学研究所と共同で行っているプロジェクトです。コンピューターに保存した記憶データを海馬傍回を通して再び元の脳に書き戻すというもので
Incredible!
Someone who looked like a grad student in front row shouted. Dr. Leskinen didn't seem particularly put off by the interruption. Maho continued her interpretation.
You don't believe it?
信じがたいですか。その気持ちは理解できます。私も皆さんの立場であればそう言ったでしょう。しかし、この研究に私たちは手応えを感じています。これが実用化できればどんなに素晴らしいことでしょう。例えば、老化による記憶障害、あとは アルツハイマーなどそうしたものへの対処療法が期待できます。
Anyone's memories could be
患者の記憶をデータとして自動的にバックアップしていくのです。
even if a memory is lost,
記憶が失われたとしても
it's possible to
その都度
access
PC
a
にアクセスし
and reinstall data in
脳
the
内
brain.
にデータを再インストールすることが可能です。
We could halt the progress of senility
それによっ
and
て
dementia.
忘
That's the
却
hope
の
of
進
thing
行
we
を食い
believe
止められるのでは
this
ない
research
か
can accomplish.
私たちはそう考えています。
Eventually, it would be possible
最終的には
to directly and continuously
海馬崩壊
access
から
data stored on
PC
a
内の
computer
記憶データに
on the
常時
archive
アクセ
computers.
スできるようになるでしょう。
So if the blame were to lose
そうすれば
significant functionality,
脳
say
機能が
through brain
失われた
damage
状
or
態
otherwise.
例えば脳が激しく損傷したり萎縮してしまった場合などですが
The system would essentially
そのような状態でも
whatever part of the
変わら
brain
ず
was
脳
firing.
機能を維持できます。
Think of it like an
あた
external
か
hard
も
drive.
外部ストレージと同じように
A strange feeling gripped the hall. Part of it was shock and the feeling that we were witnessing the announcement of an incredible technology. Part of it was just skepticism that a system like this could ever actually work. Part of it was revulsion at the idea of playing around with a human brain like that. An excitement born of all these things passed from one member of the crowd to another. Dr. Leskinen raised his hand to encourage questioners.
I'm seeing some of you have questions.
どうやら2つ目のプロジェクトをお話しする前に質問を受け付けないといけないようですね。
I'll answer as many as I can. Go ahead.
できる範囲でお答えします。どうぞ。
I can like briefly hear what the doctor's saying in English. Many hands were raised. I could tell that there was a wide age range of people interested. Both young and old were raising their hands. Dr. Leskinen pointed to a questioner. This was the first question. Sampling would be required when digitizing analog memories. Does that mean any information would be lost? The professor nodded as he listened to the question in Japanese and began to respond in English when the speaker finished. Maybe he was able to understand Japanese, if not speak it.
Let me lift that
そ
down.
の質問を言い換えると
You're talking about attempting to
オーケストラの
record
生演奏
orchestral
を
performance and how you
ワ
can
ブのデー
navigate
タ
the
に保存
perfect
する
even
際
with the best lossless
生演
format.
奏の全てを完璧に記録することはできないと
That's certainly a concern. In
確かに
fact, it's one
そ
of
の
the
懸念はあり
most
ま
pressing
す。
issues our
現在
research
の
is
研究で
addressing right now.
最も困難な問題の一つです。
Now, if the intercerebral network
脳
is
内の
simple
ネットワークが
on-off tests for
神経伝
neurotransmitters
達物質
like
の
memory
オ
data,
ンオフだけ
it
で
would be easy.
つまり二進数的にデータのやり取りをしているのであれば簡単な問題でした。
After all, that's
そ
how
れ
our
は
computer deals
デジタ
with
ル
it.
データと同じことだからです。
Unfortunately, intercerebral
し
transmission
かし実際には
substances and signals are
伝
much
達
more
物質や
analog than
電
they
気
are
信号
digital.
は脳内でアナログ的に変化することが分かっています。
So at present, the best
この
solution
問題
is
に関しては
simply to store data
今の
at
と
the
ころ
highest possible
より
sampling
高い
rate.
サンプリングレートでデータをサンプルする方法しか手段を持っていません。
In musical teams, you could
音
say
楽の
it's
話で
like
言えば
something at 48
44.1kHz よりも
48kHz is better than
48kHz よりも 96kHz でサンプリングするといった具合です。
It's still digital data, of course,
それによっ
but
て
the information we
デジタルでありながら
are using is as
アナログ
possible
データに
to
近い情報を得ようとしています。
Little by little, the mood in the room was turning to disappointment. People were beginning to wonder if this was just a pretty theory that wouldn't work in reality. More questions came. All of the questioners were skeptical of the professor's theory, and many of them seemed to be outright challenging him. I started to get upset. This was Dr. Leskinen's research, but it also was Kirisu's. I knew better than anyone that it worked, and the sight of so many people refusing to give it a chance infuriated me. Were these people really scientists? I tried to get myself under control and look back towards the podium. Was she mad? She certainly looked disappointed. Dr. Leskinen was very polite with the rude questioners acknowledging the problems with the theory. She was very different. Her anger was starting to seep into her interpreting too. I felt a kind of kinship with her. The question and answer session continued.
そもそもこれは医学的に無謀でしょう。デジタルデータを脳に書き戻すなんて絶対に不可能だ。正気の沙汰ではない。サイエンス誌に掲載されたあの論文も読みましたが、にわかには信じられない。ましてや筆頭著者が若干17歳の女性だったとあっては。
That was the one thing I couldn't ignore.
あなたね。
意義あり。
あ
The two people on the stage and the entire audience all turned toward me at once.
やってみもしないで何がわかるって言うんだ。最初は無理だと思われてた技術なんてこの世にいくらでもあるじゃないか。でもそれを克服した研究者がいたからこそ今があるんだろう。ただ批判するだけじゃ何も生まれない。
The whole theatre went silent, but I didn't regret standing up.
あなた。
On the stage, Maho was staring at me in shock. And as for Dr. Leskinen, I saw a flash of white teeth as our eyes met.
Autumn is really something.
He started to applaud. Well, why was he applauding? That just makes things embarrassing.
素晴らしい。彼はなかなか大したやつだ。ですって。
Maho translated the professor's words for me to hear.
Nonetheless, a scientist must
ただ
always
し
remain composed.
科学者たるもの常に冷静でなければいけない。
The only time when it is
大
possible
声で
to
怒鳴って
shout
いい
is
のは
when your
実
experiment
験が
is a
成功
success
した
and you
時
say,
の
We did it,
We did it
and that should be enough.
それだけで十分だそうですよ。
すみません。
I lowered my head and sat down. I thought I was calm, but I guess I let my emotions get away from me. I hadn't grown up at all in the past 6 months. If Kurisu was here, she'd make fun of me again. I could feel the rest of the audience staring at me coldly. It hurt. If I could have left, I would have wanted to, but I was too interested in hearing the rest of Dr. Leskinen's talk to move.
And anyway, moving on.
それでは皆さん、そろそろ次に。
Oh, first, a round of applause,
でも
please, for our
その
great
前
friend.
に勇敢な彼に拍手をお願いします。
Oh no, please no.
Men like him are what
彼
drives
のような
scientific
挑
progress
戦者こそが
and enact the
科学を
form
進歩させ
remarkable race.
あっと驚くような理論を作り上げるのです。
He may even become the third
彼なら
Einstein.
きっと第3のアインシュタインになれるかもしれませんね。
The second Einstein, of course,
ち
would
な
be
み
my
に
slightly
第
fussy
2のアイン
assistant
シュタインはここにいるちょっと小うるさい私の助手。変なこと言うのはやめてください、教授。
The audience chuckled. Sheesh.
さて、ここで私はしばらく通訳をお休みさせていただきます。これから私よりも優秀な通訳が登場します。これが私たちのチームが今最も力を入れている2つ目のプロジェクト、アマデウスシステムです。
When she finished speaking, Maho walked to the back of the stage. At Dr. Leskinen's signal, the PC screen was displayed on the projector. And then I heard a voice.
皆さん、初めてお目にかかります。
The murmuring got louder than before, but it felt more uncertain than surprised. On the screen I could see a detailed 3D model of Maho, the girl who'd just been interpreting.
ちなみにこれは映画などで有名なドリンクワークススタジオに作成してもらったモデルです。
Maho chimed in from the back of the stage.
声については私のボイスサンプルをデータベースにして 日本の山名が作ってくれました。
This was CG. It sure looked real to me. The professor said something into the laptop's microphone, and then the 3D model of Maho on the screen opened its mouth.
私はヒア城真帆です。正確に言うなら78時間22分前のヒア城真帆から派生した存在ということになります。
If you listen carefully, you might be able to hear something slightly off, but it sounded far more human than any artificial voice I'd ever heard.
先ほどから皆さんの質問を聞かせていただいていました。教授はどうして私を早く紹介しないのかとてももどかしく思っていましたよ。以前から感じていましたが、どうも教授は人が悪いようですね。まったくだわ。
The Maho on screen spoke with a slightly irritated expression, and the Maho by the wall nodded in agreement. Dr. Leskinen simply smiled. What was going on here? What part of this was their biggest project? The rest of the audience didn't seem to have any more of a clue than I did.
皆さんの多くは疑問に思っています。人間の記憶をデータとして取り出したり、それを保存したり、さらにはそのデータを活用したり、そんなことが本当に可能なのかと。それでは私は一体何でしょうか。私は78時間23分前のヒア城真帆の脳内から取り出された記憶を持ち、そのデータをベースにして動いているのです。
What did she just say? The professor said something else in rapid English and asked the Maho on screen to translate it. But she, if she was the right word, hesitated and went silent. I looked at the real Maho, and she was responding exactly the same way.
教授、今のは。教授、今の発言はセクシャルハラスメントとして大学に訴えてもいいでしょうか。
Dr. Leskinen laughed cheerfully and responded to her. The conversation was in quick English, and over half the audience couldn't understand it. The real Maho sighed and took back the microphone.
教授はですね、私に対して、いえ、私の記憶で動作しているこのアマデウスに対して質問に答えてごらんと言いました。いつ頃までパパとお風呂に入っていたかとか、
This is getting a little weird
初恋は
now.
いつだったかとか、何でも答えられるだろうと。ああ、もうそれ以上通訳しなくていいわ。恥ずかしいからやめてくれないかしら。私はそういう質問には一切答えないわよ。
The professor said something else, and the Maho on the screen groaned and turned away.
クレジットカードの番号なんてもっと言えません。あと1週間前に着ていたパジャマの色なんて覚えてるわけないです。
What was this? It was so natural I couldn't tell at first, but this was something unbelievable, wasn't it? It felt very different from a typical AI. I could tell that much. It wasn't answering the questions it was given. And because they were embarrassing, was it programmed to respond like that to certain questions for the purposes of its demonstration? It was possible that's all it was, but if that conversation wasn't programmed in advance, the rest of the crowd seemed to reach the same conclusion I did, and the whispers started to turn to surprise.
ねえちょっといい加減このいたずらな子供を何とかしてくれないかしら。何をしたいのか理解はできるけど、とにかく恥ずかしいわ。
The copy of Maho was complaining to the original. It felt like I was watching a pair of twin sisters talking.
いたずらな子供ではなく、レスキネン教授が面白がってなかなか説明してくれないので、代わりに私がお話しします。
Maho walked back to the professor.
皆さん、もうお分かりかと思いますが、アマデウスは自分が話していいこととそうでないこと、あるいは話したいことと話したくないことを自ら判断して喋っています。私たちは アマデウスにそういったプログラムを一切施していません。
I knew it.
彼女は与えられた私の記憶からそれを独自に判断し、自律的にそういう行動をとっているのです。
The Maho on screen suddenly took over for her.
そしてこれは先ほどの医療分野への応用とは方向性が真逆になってしまい、研究所内でもずっと議論が交わされていることですが、私は不必要な情報をいつの間にか忘れてしまう。というか、記憶の引き出しから出してこられなくなるのです。皆さんと同じようにです。例えば1週間前に着ていたパジャマの色、確かにそれを知っていたはずなのに今は思い出せません。そのような情報は生存していく上で必要がないからです。これも皆さんと同じです。このようにアマデウスは記憶のインプットやアウトプットが人間のそれと非常に近いのです。これは私たちも驚くべき結果として研究を重ねている最中で、まだ詳しくは解明されていません。
As Maho finished up, Dr. Leskinens took the microphone back. She resumed interpreting as he continued the lecture.
However, what really surprised us
さらに
is that Amadeus
私たちを驚かせたのは、アマデウスが意図して嘘をつくということ。
and not as some sort of bug
何らか
or
の
glitch.
トラブル
This
や
is
ミスではな
purposeful
く、
behavior.
わざとそうするのです。
Lying is literally just
嘘は
another method of human
人
communication.
間が他人とコミュニケーションを取る上での一つの手法です。
Amadeus examined the memories
アマデウスも
and has no
インプット
conception
された
about
記憶
lying
を
to
自
serve
律的
itself
に
or
検討し、
others if it deems
必要であれば
action necessary.
自分や他人のために平気で嘘をつきます。教授、誤解を招くような言い方はやめてください。
That could actually backfire in a way if it does tell lies of its own free will. But then again, it is
嘘を
pretty
つくの
smart.
に平気なことなんてありません。私だって両親が咎めます。
I'm so sorry, and
Dr. Leskinen cut off. He seemed to be hesitating. Maho didn't seem especially surprised by this. Maybe she knew the reason. But the moment passed and the professor continued. And Maho translated his words like there was nothing shocking about them at all.
this has led us to some
こ
interesting
のような
conclusions.
検証を続けていくことで、最終的に私たちは
For one, we believe it's possible for
アマデウ
Amadeus
スに
to eventually
人
possess a
間と
mind
同様の
functionally
魂を
identical
宿すことができるのではないかと考えています。
I was stunned. A soul? Should one of the leading brain scientists in the world really be using a word with such a vague definition?
In other words, through
これこそ
artificial intelligence.
本当の意味での人工知能ということになります。
The whole hall got very quiet, and it was sheer chaos for a while after that, as everyone tried to debate their own personal theories with Dr. Leskinen at once. And that, guys and girls, is going to be the end of this video. Hopefully you did enjoy. We've been going for over an hour now, and I think we got some pretty good insight into what to expect with this game. So far, so good as always. Pretty much expected it. And this is a visual novel, so it's going to be a full-on story. No gameplay requirement. There's not really too many gameplay requirements in this game. You can pretty much change some of the story, but just with the mobile phone. But other than that, everything is pretty much out of your hands. So it's a fun game. It's all for the story, not for the gameplay, of course. And if you are into visual novels, I definitely recommend playing this game. If not, definitely go to the first one and then to this one, as you'll need to know what's going on here. It really does help understand what's going on. And yeah, it's going to be all. So hopefully you did enjoy. I do apologize for the dark screen here on the face cam. But if you do want to see more, let me know down below. As always, thank you for watching, for your support. And once again, please hit that thumbs up button. It really, really does help. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for coming. See ya.